turned the... That's right, I had you muted. Didn't I? No, I don't. Okay. No, I just had the... Oh, my headphones aren't on, that's why. Oh my goodness. Come on, turn on. There we go. Alright. That's better. Okie dokie. Let me turn this down here. And let me get some stuff adjusted here. And let's go over here. Whoops. Nope. Didn't want to start Opera GX. Just wanted to grab this guy and move it over there. Fantastic. All right. Hello, everybody in the early chat and who's watching this back later on in the breath of time and space that we see and refer to as the here and now. That's my convoluted way of saying the future because my brain just stopped working there. But yes. Hello, everybody. I hope you are all having a good day if you're watching this back later in the future. And I hope you are having a good, whatever, whenever this is. And yeah, we are here back to stream more Starfield. If you are watching this back in the future, like I said, I hope you're having a good day and everything. If you want to check out more content from me, check the link down in the description. It's got links to all my socials, TikTok, Twitter. It's not Instagram anymore. It's Tumblr. I always forget about that. And then yeah, just all that's going on. TikTok, Twitter, Tumblr, Twitch. That's the other one. But nobody watches on Twitch. Well, some people watch on Twitch, but mostly it's on YouTube. Good morning, Matthew. Good morning, Sterno. Or I guess for you it might be evening, afternoon, whatever. How is everybody doing? You all guys having good? Where are the pronouns at? Where they at? Show me the pronouns. I'm gonna fight them with my fists like a man. Oh my god, I've been fucking reading back on some of the. So for anybody in the stream now, always enjoy your Saturday streams, bro. Thank you. I enjoy them too. But yeah, anybody who's well,
okay.
I've been spending a good deal of time this morning reading back all the comments on my latest video. What was that? Thank you, Soldier Easy, I think that said. Thank you for the subscription. A huge Chad moment. I'm still kind of figuring out a lot of stuff with, let's see. Rep Lloyd, thank you for subscribing. I'm like almost certain that like a lot of that might be delayed, but just on the off chance that any of the people that actually see that, that actually watch this back and do subscribe, John Relco, I think that said. Thank you for the subscription. Okay, this stream title is cringe bait. Yeah, probably. No hate though, but defo cringe. Oh, absolutely. Gren258, thank you for the subscription. It absolutely is. I'm the guy that thinks pronouns are dumb, but I don't really care. This game is too fun. I know, like it's so fun because like I was just saying, I'm Noel Page. Thank you for subscribing. Huge moment. Bane quote, but it's about cringe. Hell yeah. I was born in the pronouns, molded by them. Botany Bubbles, I think that said. Thank you for the subscription. I didn't know Zer Zem until I was nearly a man, and by then it was nothing but blinding. Pearl Salty, thank you for the subscription. Bane quote. I was born in the cringe. Oh, that's what you meant. God, my brain's just not working. Duchess Fox, thank you for subscribing. I don't know if, like, again, I'm almost 100% sure these are all, like, lags, because I find it very unlikely that every time I go live, on Saturdays at 10 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. Joker Dust, thank you for subscribing. That all these people are just subscribing at the same time. Like, I can't imagine that that's the case. But in the off chance that they do subscribe, that they have subscribed earlier and, just so happen to watch this back later, Thomas Archer, thank you for subscribing. I might as well just say, like, hey, thanks for subscribing on that, like, small off chance that that's the case. That's cool though. Good amount of good subs. Yes, that was actually one thing I noticed. As I was saying, I dropped that new video yesterday, and I've been reading a lot of. You think pronouns are your ally? You merely adopted the pronouns. I've been reading back a lot of the comments on the video that I dropped yesterday, and oh boy, there's some spicy ones. I'm looking at my my stats right now on the video, and let me see if I can. Where is it? It'd be by views. So I couldn't remember the actual quote, but it worked here because there's only one bait quote that became a meme. Yeah, it's like, let me see if I can remember the whole thing. It was like, what was it? You think darkness is your ally. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was nearly a man, and by then it was blinding. Something like that. But it's so weird, right? Because like the video. So for anybody who's watching now, either now during the stream or later in the future who isn't aware, I dropped a video yesterday talking about the recent ban of a specific Starfield mod, where like the mod the mod itself like removed pronouns from the character creation. So like you're making the game, or you're making your character and shit, and you are presented like right near the end. It's not even something that you really like know. At least when I went through and did it the first time, I didn't really fucking notice. Like, I think maybe I saw it, but I didn't really pay any attention because I'm a cisgendered man, so I'm gonna use he him pronouns. Like, that's just how shit goes. But it's this tiny little thing that people like is at the very end of the character creation at the start of the game, and 9 times out of 10, or at least in my opinion, 9 times out of 10, the people who are making a big deal about it existing are the people who are just gonna go with the standard, with the pronouns set for the, I think it's like the walk cycle, or like the I forget what the actual verb. I think it's just an AB thing. The mod that actually made everyone they them. Yeah, that's what was so funny. So yeah, like there's you can pick your own pronouns in the game, and it's like, okay, sure, whatever, just do that and just move on, play the fucking game. Nobody cares. But then somebody fucking cared so goddamn much that they made a mod that that they put out a they made a mod that removes that option. And the problem is that the way the mod works is it literally just removes that option in the character creation, which is like, okay, sure, whatever. But then what they didn't take into account is that by default, the game refers to your character as they them pronoun. So anybody who's referring to you in the game will default to they them. So it just made all the characters, all the people who download this mod to use it, it made them fucking non-binary, which is so goddamn funny because it literally works against their whole, we just want like the he, him, she, her pronouns, like none of this they, them, z, zer, she, him, all that fucking wacky extra shit, which isn't even in the game, which like I can see an argument if there was like all those alternative mods, or not alternative mods, but all those alternative additional like plus mods, you know, or like genders, you know, the ones you need to get like a subscription service for. I can't, like, if those were in the game, I could see that being like a bigger argument, but literally just having the option of being like a man or a woman and using he, him / she, her pronouns, or just using they pronouns, it's so fucking stupid how people got so fucking jostled by that. You're late to the party there, little buddy. The British rage pig already had his 15 seconds of internet clout, and the quarter pounder and the other grifters riding the coattails for easy money. I mean, like, yeah, if they want to do that, you know, that's fine and dandy. I just wanted to fucking talk about more so, like, with my video, I wanted to talk more about that thing that I mentioned at the end, that mod page that shall not be named, because I don't agree with a lot of the mods that are on that page. Like, I'm not a big fan of them, so I don't want to, you know, talk about it. But, well, funnily enough, that's what I wanted to talk about in the video, but I also wanted to talk about all those, like, the pronoun mods and shit. And seeing some of the responses and just the traction that video's gotten is genuinely, honestly hilarious, because the most controversial video I ever put out on my channel, that, you know, by way of like the split, you know, the like dislike ratio. Looks like I joined the pronoun chat. Pronoun chat. Everybody post your pronouns right now so the FBI can know. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. I don't care one way or the other. Like if they wanted to say Zur, whatever, I'd get that. I'd get the fight, but they is plural for anyone. Yeah, I know. Like, that's what's so stupid about it. And it's like, you know, this is a future game set in space, so like Zer, Zim, you know, all the extra stuff that uses like all those like wacky spellings and shit. It's like those would actually probably fit, seeing as how this is a game set 300 years in the future in space and shit like that. So it's like, you know, sure, maybe that would fit. I think it's kind of a good thing that they didn't do that, because me personally, I think all that extra stuff is a little silly. But I mean, hey, I'm not here to fucking judge people like that. But what's really funny is the most controversial video I ever put out, right? Toast, very good. I love it. The most controversial video I ever put out was how to beat season 5 in 5 minutes or less. And that was literally just like this throwaway shitposty video that I made back when season 5 of Fallout 76 came out, right? And it's so funny because I'm literally just like, oh, I'm gonna play a big joke on everybody, and I'm gonna present this video as if I'm showing this like trick to speed run the fucking, what is it, the to like speed run the shit, my brain's not working, to speed run like the battle pass on an online game, right? Which, as far as I know, has never been done. Maybe it's been done, I don't know. That seems like something they wouldn't allow you to actually like have like glitches and exploits for. But it's so funny because I posted that and I'm thinking like, oh, like nobody's gonna view it. This is gonna be like a fucking a go nowhere nothing video that nobody's gonna click on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is the 6th most viewed, the scoreboard. Yes, I was going for battle pass though, but this video is the 6th most viewed video on my channel, which with just shy of 3,000 views. But because a whole lot of people actually thought that it was going to be like a genuine cheat, it has so many fucking dislikes. It has a 58.7% like to dislike ratio. And I just think that's so fucking funny that so many people, I mean, like, it's funny because obviously I was going in trying to, play a little joke on everybody, be like, haha, you got joked, haha. But I wasn't expecting it to blow up that quick or like that big, get that much attention, and then get that much negative reception, which I get, like, absolutely. But then I put out that fucking Nexus band. I'm sorry, hold on a sec. There was a where is it? Okay. So Grand 58. Nexus removes small harmless mods like that pronoun mod you mentioned, and yet they allow CP mods to be on the site. Like, what the hell? So that's an interesting thing, because somebody in the comment section of that video did mention that there was this this Skyrim mod that allows you to it's like a spell or a magic or something. Maybe you just became a Fallout 76 shit poster. It like that's also possible. I did kind of roll with that for a couple seasons, that title, and it did work out a little bit. But yeah, I eventually like leaned into it a little bit more directly. Like, okay, like you guys know, like I'm just bullshitting here. Like, oh, here it goes. Okay, let's get into the actual gameplay. That was a fun period of YouTube. But yeah, so to that point though, the Nexus took down the pronouns mod. Yet they allow CP mods to be on that site. I don't know if it's like a continuous thing, like there's like a bunch of them or whatever. But I did see somebody in the comment section mention that there's this one specific Skyrim mod. I don't remember the name of it. It's like magic marriage or spell or something like that. I don't know. But it's like you can basically make it so that you can marry any NPC in the game. And I haven't done a whole lot of research into it and stuff. But somebody made the claim that that mod allows you to marry children. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't looked into it a whole lot. If it is the case, though, yes, obviously that's problematic. That most likely shouldn't be a mod on the game, or on that's hosted on the Nexus. At the same time, though, I've seen a lot of other people making the argument like, oh, Nexus hosts mods that like add like a bunch of excessive gore and like nude mods, like you can see boobs and stuff, like, oh, you fucking like, but they have an issue with like the pronouns and shit. And it's like, we got to remember, these mods are being made primarily for M+, 18 and up video games. Skyrim, Starfield, Fallout 4. It is 100% the case, sadly. Well, that's a shame. Well, if it is the case, then yes, I would capitulate that mod should not be on the Nexus. I cannot think of a valid argument. If the mod author like went in and made it so that it doesn't affect children, I don't think there'd be an issue. Political bias, maybe. So here's the point I'm getting. One, I want to remind everybody that there is a little bit of a delay. So if you say something and it takes me a while to actually respond to it, 9 times out of 10 it's just a delay. Or I'm just rambling and trying to make a point before getting to your comment. But is Nexus only 18 and up? I don't believe it is, because there are also mods for other games that are like not 18 and up. Like I think Stardew Valley is a big one. But my point here is the mods that a lot of these like nude mods and like ultra violent mods are being made for are games like Starfield, or well, not Starfield, but like Skyrim, Fallout 4, Oblivion, Fallout 3, New Vegas, Morrowind, stuff like that, right? Delay is around 10 seconds. Okay, so that's not too bad. So anyway, all those mods are 18 plus. So having like excessive violence mods and stuff like that, that's to be expected. It's not out of place. If the mod was being made for like, fucking My Little Pony games and shit like that, yeah, it'd probably be a little bit more of a like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Greetings, fellow Americans. Why are we talking about porn mods? Because for some reason people think that that's a valid, talking point for the whole like, oh, it's bad that Nexus removed that pronoun mod. So like those games are 18 plus, right? So violence, lewdness, stuff like that, that's within the wheelhouse of the game. I do think that there is commentary and an argument to be made about how women, specifically hypersexualization of both men and women, is handled with these mod projects and in gaming in general. I don't think that it's a conversation that's going to have any sort of definitive conclusion, seeing as how just a couple of years ago people were getting fucking
outrageously angry because, I don't know, fucking Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn wasn't hypersexual and, like, you know, fucking anime face and giant, you know, mommy milkers and shit like that. So, like, that point, like, I don't think, like, again, like, I do think that it is a valid commentary to be like, oh well, they're hypersexualizing women and stuff. Like, they allowed those mods. How come there's not an issue with, you know, an issue with there? And it's like, there is an issue, but it doesn't seem to be one that the entire community is interested in talking about, because they throw such a massive bitch fit whenever, you know, they desexualize female characters. Maybe not the majority. I would actually go as far to say the minority, but, you know, it's a running thing. It's kind of like the gaming industry, maybe not the gaming industry at this point, but kind of like the gaming community's like very publicly known secret. Like, we just kind of let a lot of this shit slide, and it's only like now within the last couple of years that that women in gaming is starting to become less, you know, hypersexualized and stuff like that. So it's like, I see that as a valid argument. A lot of mods on the Nexus being like, you know, lewd mods and, you know, nudes and stuff that's portraying women in unrealistic light. I absolutely get that, and I agree with it. But the problem is, it's two fronts. One, it opens up the larger conversation about women's treatment in women representation in video games in general, and it's it's just not a conversation that the gaming community is going to have a definitive conclusion on, because it's been something we've been arguing about forever. And two, it sort of, weirdly enough, wraps back into the conversation about, you know, freedom of speech, expression, whatever the fucking people are using for justification for allowing the pronouns and all the racist and homophobic mods to be allowed on the Nexus. And it's like, I think I just remembered I need to turn some of my filters back on, because I was doing some recording. So as far as like female representation and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, totally get that, absolutely. But a larger part is, we're all, if we were to say like, oh, these mods can't be allowed on the Nexus, then we're just wrapping into the exact same argument that a lot of the people who are saying, oh, like the pronoun mods, like the no pronoun mods, that should be allowed on the Nexus. We're wrapping back into that same argument of why people are saying it should not be allowed on, or it should be allowed on the Nexus, because it's like freedom of speech or freedom of expression or whatever. If you're a guy, right? And I've seen a lot of these, like, you know, lewd mods and stuff like that, or like female outfits and stuff. I have included one of them in the video, and I specifically made a point to note on the video that I wasn't calling out that mod specifically. It was literally the first one I saw that was like, you know, oh, sexy woman in a sexy skin tight outfit and shit like that. And it's like 9 times out of 10, those mods, like the outfit mods or like the skimpy mods and shit like that, they're very well made. Like, you look at the actual clothing and the detail and stuff, they're very well made. They just happen to be lewd. And it's like, we're bringing in a conversation about like, okay, what level of, like, you know, lewdness or degeneracy or whatever is acceptable in a public platform. And on the one hand, you have these people who are making arguments in favor of the pronoun mod, saying, oh, fucking CP isn't freedom, that stuff is harm. I'm not talking about CP. Oh, sorry. Pronouns are harmless because you can literally ignore it and nobody gets hurt. Okay, yeah. No, yeah, like anything that depicts children or underage people as being in lewd or adult situations, like, no, yeah, that shit can't fly. But like, it, like, both are arguing the exact same thing. The people who are supporting the pronoun mod are all like, oh, fucking, well, what about all these like lewd mods that portray women in negative lights and shit like that? It's like, okay, yes, that is a problem. But then on the other hand, you're saying, they're like, people are all like, oh, you know, freedom of expression, freedom of speech and stuff like that. But then when it comes to like gay and lesbian characters, they have an issue with that. And it's like you're using the exact same talking point, freedom of expression and stuff, to two different ends, saying this is okay, but this is not, even though they both fall under the same umbrella. Me personally, I don't really fucking give a shit either way. The only thing, and I tried to make this clear in my video, and apparently I didn't make the point very clear enough, because this video has a fucking 62% like to dislike ratio, and all kinds of people saying that I'm saying things that I'm not. Oop, shit. Sorry, hitting my mic. I don't care about, fucking the flags in in fucking Spider-Man, the pride flags getting replaced with US flags. I don't fucking give a shit about. People have been replacing flags in video games ad nauseum. I get the people who are saying like it's probably not a good thing that that they're replacing specifically the LGBTQ flags, but at the end of the day, I don't see that as a massive issue. I have my own thoughts about the United States government, and I have my own thoughts about the history and representation of the United States, both locally and globally. And I would say it's semi-negative, but at the same time, I don't think like, oh, America's like the worst place in the world and shit like that. And like the nude lewd mods and stuff like that, like, sure, whatever. The mods that like, whitewash characters or make specific alterations to other characters, I also don't really care about those 100%. I think it's fucking cringe when people are like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna arbitrarily change like this black person to a white person for no reason that's not, I hate black people or whatever. At the end of the day, like if you want to mod your game that way, you're gonna do it. I don't fucking care. The only thing I have an issue with in any video game that's being hosted on a public platform, besides obviously the CP stuff, that's obviously an issue. The only thing I have a problem with is the removal of choice in video games. I can't think of many off the top of my head right now that have actually removed the ability to do something in a game. But this pronoun mods thing, it's really fucking stupid because it literally removes a choice from a video game, an RPG video game. And to me, that's so fucking stupid and so fucking counterproductive to the whole point of everything that we're trying to do with video games. Enclave Soldier, I saw you made a comment there, a counterpoint comment. I'm gonna get back to that in a second here. But it's so fucking stupid. It doesn't make any sense to remove any sort of choice from a video game, right? The inclusion of choice, sure, if it's one you don't agree with, whatever. But just the removal of choice in a video game is so fucking stupid to me. And like all these people who are like, oh, I don't want fucking like woke shit shoved down our throats and stuff. I can't, like 9 times out of 10, I can't take any of these comments seriously because 9 times out of 10, this is kind of just me a little bit. I don't want to get into extended conversations about politics, quote unquote politics, with people in the fucking YouTube comment section. But 9 times out of 10, I see these people. Like there was one guy who was all like, oh, you said the BLM mod is like progressive or diverse or whatever, which I didn't. I said it's pushing a progressive or diverse message. I'm not saying, whatever. Anyway, my point is, they were all like, fuck, what did they say? They said, shit, what was it? It's in my comment section. I'm just too fucking lazy to actually look. Oh yeah, they made some argument like, oh, you're saying BLM is like progressive or diverse when they literally like siphoned donation money to buy a mansion or some shit like that. And like that's not correct. Like that's not what happened. Like there was a whole like mansion scandal for like a minute until fucking like what the what the actual like purpose of the mansion was and like how they acquired it and shit like that. And there's so many people who are just so ill-informed and just like in their own fucking like echo chamber of bullshit. And it's like it's majority on one side, but it's definitely not a one-sided affliction. And it's just so difficult to have genuine conversations with some of these people because one, they're either making incredibly bad faith arguments or they're making what they feel to be a good faith argument that's just backed up by all this misinformation and bad faith stuff. And it's like I literally all I can say is I don't feel as if I can have a good faith conversation with you, so I'm not going to. Sorry. Let's see. Nexus has a right to do what they want. People are allowed to complain. They got the right to remove stuff they don't like. Absolutely. That was part of the point I was trying to make there. Like, a lot of people aren't going to agree with a lot of the stuff that Nexus does, but at the end of the day, like, it's their platform. They can do what they want. If they believe something violates their terms of service, they are absolutely within their right to do so. If somebody else wants to start up another website that's, it's so fucking cringe, quote unquote, pro free speech, whatever, they can also do that. There's literally nothing stopping them besides, you know, the skill and willingness to do so. Okay, counterpoint. It's a mod for a funny game. If you're getting into a hissy fit about it, you might need to reevaluate your life. As long as it isn't illegal or straight hate speech, it should be fine. So, like, yes, that I do agree. I do think a lot of people might be, because again, my whole issue with the pronoun mod is literally just like, oh, it's removing removing choice in a video game. That's the bit I don't like. If it was, you know, that same thing and it added, like, you know, Zer, Zazem, all those extra pronouns and stuff like that, I would still feel the same thing, but I would definitely understand some people's argument against it to an extent. So, like, I'm not saying that all of these people are completely wrong in their opinions, but I do think that just the decision to remove an option, a choice in video games, is stupid. At the end of the day, Nexus is a company that can choose to do whatever. Yep. Everyone's bisexual in the future in this universe. Based future. I miss the days of I keep my shit and you keep your shit. Yeah. The good old days. Let's see. Modern games nowadays are making... Oh, lost it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Modern games nowadays are making women look more and more ugly in every new game release, and I mean to the point where female characters look almost identical to male characters. I don't actually understand what you're talking about, or at least not specifically, but the only thing that comes to mind is let me see if I can find it. What was the last thing? No, it wasn't Zero Dawn. It was that ocean game. Was it Forbidden West? I don't think it's Forbidden West. It is. All right. Oh my god, that was in 2022? Oh, wow. All right. Fable? Kind of not really Fable. Fable I could see a little bit of commentary on, but Fable is also a fantasy game. So, well, specifically Fable is a fantasy game that has you know, already has a long-standing history of not very attractive characters. So, while I can see an argument for that, I don't take it seriously. Okay, I think I found what I'm looking for. Where is it? No, that's not it. That's an actual video. Okay, so does this have the... Yes, it does. Okay, so here's when I see a lot of people saying like, oh, they're making female characters in video games ugly and shit like that. This is what I see, right? This is back in 2021 apparently. This is a lot of what was going around. Let me switch that right here. A lot of people were pointing out the difference, or not the difference, but they were taking this image and they're saying like, oh, Aloy in the new fucking Horizon game looks so fucking ugly, and then they made like, I don't even fucking, does it say? No, okay, it doesn't say. They made like, an attractive version or whatever, right? They made an attractive version of Aloy, which is so fucking cringe and so fucking stupid, because this image right here, this isn't even what Aloy looks like in the actual game. Hold on, it's loading. This is what Aloy looks like in the game. So somebody actually took the time, went out of their way to uglify, or uglify, whatever, to make Aloy less attractive, to make this grandstanding argument like, oh, they're making women in video games less attractive, and it's like, it's that meme where somebody takes like a stick and jams it between their bicycle scope or spoke, falls over, and then blames somebody else for it. Like, you're making your own argument against your point. Like, what do you? Abby from The Last of Us Part 2 is an example of it. Hell, people made fun of it. Abby is the antagonist of that game, and her whole, hold on a sec. Last of Us 2. There we go. No, not that one. Oh, I see. That's the other one. Fucking, where is it? Nope, not that one. I want the Google search one. It's so fucking cringe. Like, I can't deal with some of these people, because, like, all right, so where's like a good one that has like actual good lighting and shows her like, no, not the young Abby, like the growed up one. No, that's the young one. What is wrong with people on the internet? Okay, here, that's not very good lighting. I want one that's not the Wikipedia one, because that shows her from like the trailer where her features are all. All right, you know what? Here, let's do this. So let's do this one. Is this also Forbes? Wow, Forbes is just on it. All right, so I think this is from the trailer, right? This is Abby from the game. As you can see, she's a bit muscly. Her hair's a bit fucked up because it's raining and shit. She doesn't seem to have very pronounced breasts. Her hips aren't fucking what is it, like fucking the Jessica Rabbit from fucking from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. She's not fucking cartoonishly portioned. Like, is she a bit on the the how would I say it properly? Is she a bit more masculine? Like, yeah, I don't think an argument can be made like, she's hyper feminine or whatever, but it's like, so fucking what? She doesn't do anything excessively feminine in the game, right? Her whole point is she's strong and she fucking goes through a whole lot of shit. And then you have what's the, is it Ellie? Last of Us. There it is, yeah. Let's go to that one, and then images, and then no, that's Kid Ellie. Yeah, this is a good enough angle from the wiki fandom. Here we go. And then this is Ellie. Right? This is Ellie in The Last of Us 2. And it's so like, she also doesn't look super feminine. Her chest, as far as I remember, also isn't super pronounced. And once again, she doesn't do a whole lot of excessively feminine things in the game. Here's one of her fucking playing guitar. And I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, guitars are for men and shit like that. Not in the conversation of like, video games a lot, but that, like, that's an underlying thing. Like, it's so fucking stupid, because all of these comments, not all of the comments, but a lot of the times, people who are all like, oh, like women in video games these days just look ugly and shit like that. You're basing like the average real life human being on like a fucking anime character, right? And like, oh, this person's like ugly, they don't look good and shit like that. Like, this, she literally looks like her, and like, you know, Ellie and fucking I forget, Abby, it's right there. Abby and like Aloy, they literally look like real life people that you could meet in real life. Not those fucking anime fucking 6,000-year-old demon characters that we know aren't. That, you know, that fucking exist in anime and on the internet and shit. Like, these are real, closer to real life looking actual real people than anything we have. Maybe not anything, but a lot of what we have seen over the last, you know, fucking 40, almost 50 years of gaming. So it's like, granted, there are not great character models for some female characters. I'm not going to sit here and say that all female video game characters look fucking exquisite, fucking 10 out of 10. Like, no, that's not the case. But a lot of the times, the people that are, or the women that are being pointed out in video games, like, oh, this character's ugly, this character's not attractive, they literally just look like actual real life people. Granted, not really, because you can tell, like, this is not a realistic photograph, but their proportions are realistic. Their facial features are, what is it? Fucking, you know, like, they're closer to real life than not. Like, obviously they're not real, but they're pretty much photorealistic. Like, we're getting closer and closer to that point. So when people are all like, oh, fucking women in video games aren't sexy anymore, like, yes, that's kind of the point. Not every fucking game can be fucking Dead or Alive beach volleyball, right? Like, that's not how the real world works. Also, Abby is literally based off a real woman. Like, they used a face model. Really? Interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't follow Last of Us too much because I don't game on the Xbox. They're I don't game on the PlayStation. I don't have a PlayStation. My housemate does, and he loved The Last of Us too. Gamers angry that a woman in modern games aren't good R34 bait. Oh my god. Gee whiz. I don't enjoy this debate focused thing going on right now. I return later when the game is on. All right, whatever. Dolly Parton, Joanne Janet, the Bengals. Guitars are not for men. Just for men. The healthy skin and eyes in a post-apocalypse, usually unimmersive. It makes a lot of sense. They're so far past the apocalypse, they might as well be upswinging again. Oh no, yeah, like as I said, there is commentary to be made about like specific things. Alloy, okay, yeah, because like we'll go back to Alloy here, and like, yeah, like her hair for a post-apocalypse scene, her skin, her eyes, like stuff like that. Little probably a little too clean, but then you also have to take into account, like, you know, what is it, like Horizon Zero Dawn is like, what, a couple million years divorced, maybe not a couple millions, but a couple 100,000 years divorced from the modern world. I'm gonna take that back. It's probably closer to like a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 years. I don't know the lore of the game very well, but it does seem to be just a little bit too clean. But yeah, I spent most of the morning reading a lot of the comments on that video, and there are some that I feel raise fair and valid commentary, like that one mod that adds that weird magic thing to Skyrim that lets you marry anyone. Like, yeah, that's weird. That probably shouldn't be there. Interesting. But then there's all these other people who are making either just bad faith comments or comments that literally, like, they're just based in so much
so much fucking what is it? Like so much disinformation. Sorry, I'm reading one of the comments now. Yeah, they banned this, but allowed the Pride Mantis reskin and a trans flag Mantis reskin. Lol. So? These people whine time and time again about genocide and hate, but this is the most protected group in the world. So protected that you can't even mod to ban their dumb pronoun system on a single player game. Oh my god. People are so fucking stupid. Like I'm not gonna sit here that fucking and say like every, quote unquote woke decision is a good one. Primarily because nobody who's arguing against it can actually give a clear definition on what woke means. But like there's so many people. I'm gonna switch over to that one. There's so many people who are making like anti-woke commentary and stuff that just cannot possibly define adequately what woke means. And this one specifically, like, they banned this but allowed the Pride Mantis reskin and trans flag reskin mods. One, I didn't even know that they were doing reskin mods yet. That's pretty dope. But if somebody wants to, fucking reskin the Mantis to be... The Mantis is a ship in Starfield. If somebody wants to reskin it to be, fucking trans flag, pride flag, US flag, Algerian flag, Australian flag, British flag, any shit like that, like, who cares? If they want to, sure, whatever. And then these people whine time and time again about genocide and hate, but this is the most protected group in the world. It's not. The fucking, like, gay people and trans people get killed literally every single day. The fucking, over in the Middle East, what was it? There was I heard this recently, like, there was a guy in some Middle Eastern country I don't remember the name of, but he was killed. He was sentenced to jail and executed. Actually, I can't remember if he was executed or chemically castrated, but he was sentenced to jail, and one of those two things happened because he raised a pride flag. And the fucked up thing was he didn't even know what the pride flag stood for. He literally just likes rainbows because they're nice to look at, because they're pretty and colorful. And this guy fucking got, at the very least, chemically castrated for it. And it's so fucked up. And there's so many laws in America right now. You can, in Florida, in the United States, in Florida, it is actually a law that somebody that an EMT, the people that show up to save you in the ambulance and shit, an EMT can straight up refuse treatment because his like religious preference or whatever the fuck says, oh, I don't recognize trans people or whatever. And there was a story where that happened like days after the law passed, and a trans woman died. An EMT in the United States of America was allowed to legally discriminate against a trans person, and they died. I honestly do not care what your opinion on gay people, trans people, pronouns, and shit like that, whatever. But if you don't agree that that's fucked up, then I'm sorry, we can't have a good faith conversation about probably a lot of things. Because like if there like me there's definitely an argument to be made about like ethical catch and release medicine and shit like that. It was something that was talked about in Sim Settlements 2. Like, it was a small part of it, like, the part of the mod, like fixing up enemy soldiers and then catch and release, fix them up, release them, because that's the whole thing about being a doctor, the Hippocratic Oath and shit like that. And it's like some people agree with that, some people don't, and it's like, okay, sure, there's an argument to be made there. But if you're a public servant like that,
if you work for a hospital or like a doctor or like an EMT and shit like that, or like a cop or a fireman or anybody who's in a position where it's like, my job is to directly help people, not help people because I work at like a soup kitchen or we hand out blankets to the poor and stuff, but literally help to prevent the death of another person. If you are in that position and you willingly allow somebody to die because you don't believe in, you know, their situation, their status, their life. I think a poor person should die. I think a gay person should die. If that's your thought process, you do not deserve to be in the position that you're in. I don't remember who, but I remember seeing a story or being told one time, like there was this guy in like a medical class or whatever, and another student asked, like, well, what if we have to treat like a gay person or something? What if our religious choices say like we can't do that? And like, well, then you find a different profession, right? you find something that is going to, like, I applied for the Salvation Army the other day, right? As like a job opportunity. For anybody who doesn't know, the Salvation Army is a religious organization. They were started by Christians, and I'm pretty sure they're still ran by Christians. But they have specifically written in their motto, like, it is our job to help people. We don't care what your denomination is. We don't care what your race is, your ethnicity, your gender identity, sexuality, financial class, shit like that. Like, we don't care about that. Our job is to help people because that's what Jesus says, and Jesus was dope and shit like that. And there's just so I really didn't want to get into this conversation because I'll never fucking shut up about it. But there's just so many people who have their heads so far in the sand that they can't even see what's going on around them. Funnily enough, they are the anti-woke people, and woke is literally just being aware of societal prejudices. And it's so funny and it's so fucked up at the same time. Those mods have really changed the world around me. I remember my friend Jerry getting abducted and was forced to marry this vault dweller and abandon his family. Life is a jank game on hard, man. Like, bro, true. I'm sure there's a wholesome Christian mod site out there that caters to all favors of bigotry and racism. My God. If there's anything people should whine about, it's the abysmal performance. Also, hello, Crotan. Yes, performance is at times a bit weird. I have, from everything I've seen, as far as like what Starfield needs to run and shit like that. Like, I meet all those specifications, but every once in a while, for as far as I can see, no reason, it just, like, all of a sudden the frame rate just tanks. Like, I don't know why. But usually it's something I just like open up the menu or like save and reload and it works fine. But I think a lot of the issues I think people are having are specifically related to the SSD, because the minimum requirements to run Starfield is what is it? It's a Ryzen 5 or an i7 2600K, I think, if I remember correctly. Which it would have to be around the same time, but like the i7, that specific i7 was released like back in 2016. And then as far as, you need 16 gigabytes of RAM, obviously. And then the graphics card minimum is like a 1070 Ti. But another one of the things, which isn't a necessity, but a lot of people, but like, it's one of those things like, you should probably have this, is an SSD hard drive instead of an HHD hard drive. And I think that's where a lot of people are getting a lot of the issue from. I think that's where a lot of the problems are coming from. I think it's just the SSD situation. The most protected group is politicians, bro. True. Gay and trans people aren't just protected here. They're on a pedestal in America now. Like, I get it. You're gay. I'm not. Let's move on. I'd argue just slightly against that, but I mean, I can see where you're coming from there. Uh, as if our healthcare wasn't fucked already. I know, right? Christians aren't bigots or racists. That's so false. It's ugly. So I'm not saying that Christians. I'm not saying that anybody specifically, like any sort of. Well, I'm gonna walk back on that because I can't really back up that statement fully. But I'm not saying that Christians are bigots or racist by design. I'm not saying that, and I'm never going to say that. What I am saying though is that there are a lot of people who are using religion as a means or as a tool to do fucked up and racist shit. I'm not saying that by design, their religion pushes towards that. I'm saying that there are people out there who use it as a crutch or an excuse, and it's disgusting. We need term limits, age limits, stuff like that. Fix the US. Yep. When it comes to the pronoun issue, I just ignore it. It's only one screen. It's only on screen for seconds. Yeah, that's also. I'm also the same thing. Like it's a small tiny thing that literally change. Well, actually, it does kind of change a lot about the game because it changes how characters refer to you. But yeah, it's a super minor thing that you can literally just say like, oh, I'm just this. Toshi, you gonna play Cyberpunk? I want to. I don't have the money to get the new DLC though, and I want to get the new DLC before I go get back into it. If anybody wants to donate $30, I'll fucking get it right here, right now on stream, and we'll play that instead. But yes, I do want to check it out because it does seem like it's a lot more fun. I'm gonna walk back on that. Not that it's a lot more fun, but it seems like it runs a lot better, or at least has more shit to do in it. Just like the flow is a bit better, you know. But yes, I would like to play it at some point. Only issue performance related I've had on Xbox is loading Aquila City crashes my game like half the time. Weird. That's interesting. My power armor is running space age level tech and I still can't run Starfield. I'm so glad Papa Todd told poor people just to get good. Exactly. I have a 3060 with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. I mean, I'm kind of the same. I think I have a 3080 with like 36 gigabytes of RAM. But again, the only time I've had issues running the game is occasionally there's like a weird frame rate drop, which it might be my system. I know I need a new processor, so it might be a bottleneck issue. But for a lot of people I've seen, I think it's mostly just, hey, you know, like you might just need an SSD. It could be that. I don't know. PC gaming's really weird and finicky sometimes. So if you have the ability or the means to purchase an SSD, I'd give that a try. If it's not that, obviously return. Well, you could keep the SSD if you want to. If you don't need it, obviously you don't have to. But I would probably try that. Like if you have the ability to, like, test out the SSD. Again, it could be the processor. Processor, I think, is something a lot of people forget about from time to time. As I said, I have an older processor. It's definitely needs to get upgraded. It's not awful. It's definitely above the minimum requirements to run Starfield. But yeah, I think it might be the processor for you, Gran. So definitely give that a try. Turned on Twitch the other day and some dude playing Cyberpunk noticed the fleshlights that are everywhere. He was shocked. Really? Wow. There's a whole store that specifically sells sex toys, and he just now noticed the fleshlights and shit. Gee whiz. Starfield needs to bring back swimming underwater, ask followers to do something. That was interesting. That was something that I noticed as well. You can't swim underwater in Starfield, which seemed a little weird to me. Also being able to ask followers to do something would be nice. Quality of life updates I want to see is flak your ship, have crew, bring the ship to you, about fast. Oh, okay, yeah. Traveling through it or walking so far, with especially when you're over heavy. Oh, like over encumbered and stuff like that. Yeah, that would be nice. Like telling your companion, like, oh, just bring the ship around. That'd be cool. You have a 3080, then get a Ryzen 9, easy. I currently I don't have the money to get to it, to get like a Ryzen 9 or something like that. But that's I'm probably either gonna get like a Ryzen 9 or maybe just a better i7. I have a buddy who's like real smart when it comes to the specifics of computers and stuff like that. You like thread count and stuff like that. I'm pretty good with computers myself. But like the big difference between like a Ryzen 9 and like an i8 or i9, I forget what the newest Intel one is. Like the biggest difference between those two, that I just don't know about. But yeah, it's don't worry guys, it's on my checklist there. New processor, got to get that. I need a vehicle or a mech, speeder bike, something landing 2K from your destination, some BS. A little like buggy or something would be nice. Because me personally, while I do like the walks to location and stuff like that, having like just like a little cart or something would be nice. It would be pretty epic to be able to get a mech DLC because it's already a major part of the game's lore. I would like to see that. I would like to see mechs brought back in some form or fashion. Whether that's going to be as something that we can actually ride. Me personally, I don't know if that would be the greatest idea. But I would like to see them come back. That they're aquatic creatures, so not being able to swim is indeed messed up. It is a little weird. All right, let's get back into let's actually get into the fucking game. I've been ranting and raving about stupid people on the internet for an hour.
I must admit,
I want to see Land Rover speed bikes in the game. As would I. I'm going to
but I was wrong.
hide myself there. I'm going to turn off the chat.
Soiree I'm planning.
But yeah, a Land Rover would be really fucking dope. Like the ability to build one, or maybe just get one. Toshi, getting all the temples all the way to New Game Plus 10 is 260 temple runs. Oh my god. What do you mean? Are there 260 temples in the game, or like the powers and abilities and stuff that you can get, they only drop at like certain temples or something? Because I did learn that like there's an armor, like the best Under Armor in the game that you can get. You can only get after doing New Game Plus 10 times, which I thought was really fucking wild. But at the same time, I get it, especially for the stats that it gives. What are we doing here? Oh yeah, we're going to Neon to do like a trade deal or something for an artifact.
It's about an artifact. And our
also, yes, I finished the game at this point.
A freelance operative in the city of Neon,
yeah.
Which means the artifact is
so nobody can spoil it for me this time.
I just need a little more presence in the negotiation.
Like that fucking troll from last week.
And I think
if they do a mech DLC, I'm 100% sure they'll just reuse power armor mechanics from Fallout 4 or Fallout 76. I could see that. I could most likely see that as being the case. It'd probably make it a little bit easier, but at the same time, you know, like maybe they'll do something else. Maybe they'll throw in a bit of extra puppetry, kind of like what they did with the ships and stuff. You get 26 powers, and you can upgrade them each New Game Plus up to level 10. 26 runs per New Game Plus. Okay, so you're saying in order to get all of them fully upgraded to level 10, you got to do New Game Plus 260 times? No, that can't be what you're saying. Oh, no, I see. You go to each temple. Shut up, Walter.
I'm not getting any younger here.
Yeah, I know. I want you to die. I don't. Walter's actually pretty dope. You're saying that you go to all 26 temples in each new game, and that's how you get all of them fully maxed out. Okay. Interesting. I'm in. Let's go.
That settles it
The
then.
mechs are an old war UC Marine thing. Yes, they are. They're talked about in the UC Marines quest line.
I promise. I'll ride passenger on your ship until we get to Neon.
Okie dokie.
Just let me know when you're ready to
Well, talk to me. I know, right? That's one of the things that I think I said this last week as well. That's one of the things that I really like about Starfield is when you're sitting here, the character doesn't remind you like, hey, you're in a conversation every 5 seconds.
To the Volai star system, then.
And sometimes when they remind you, it's really funny.
Excited.
like what he did. Why are you speaking to Ronald Reagan? This isn't Ronald Reagan. This is Walter Stroud. Ronald Reagan is a lot fatter and deader. Also, this is the armor I found. Hold on, let me get somewhere where there's good lighting.
Hey!
Oh,
You
God.
have a second? Sam and I were just having a discussion, and I wanted someone else's input.
Okay.
I'd like to, get in shape, do some working out. So I asked Vladimir for some tips, and he basically said weightlifting was a bad idea. Anyway, so I wanted to get Sam's opinion on it, and he pretty much said the same thing.
Would you like some jelly beans? Walter must be every grumpy man's name. Pretty much. We're still talking about weightlifting or something else? Oh, okay. I don't know what happened there. Oh, that's interesting. So usually this triggers another dialogue conversation, but I think the reason it's not triggering is because Sam isn't here. Because I think Sam has to be here to actually trigger this conversation properly. Okay, interesting. I think the safe choice is the best one.
So you agree with them? Well, I'm gonna prove you all wrong. Anyway, thanks.
Interesting.
gonna try
I don't
it.
remember that
Don't
conversation.
worry, I'll be sure and ask Vladimir for pointers.
I don't remember the conversation playing out like that last time. So maybe
And
it's
if I need a spot,
it's got to be like it's just because Sam isn't here. That conversation played out very differently. That's interesting. But yeah, I got a what armor is this? This is bounty hunter spacesuit. And I mean, you guys probably saw it when I was just fucking sitting here, but it's really cool looking. It reminds me a lot of the Doom outfit from, Doom Guy from the hit video game Doom, little indie title that I don't think any of you might have heard about. But it's super based and super epic because you're this dude who kills demons. Pretty out there and pretty edgy concept, I know, but like if you guys haven't played Doom, it's pretty dope. I'd give it a try. Can't wait for Toshi's political podcast coming in 10 years, right? I'm just gonna go fucking ham sandwich. Doom Guy is doing duck face armor. It's just a helmet. Shut up, Sterno. You don't know. Shut up. Where is? Can I just fast travel there? I'm pretty sure I can just fast travel there. Arnold Terry. 1. Yeah. Yes. So let's just go there. Is Doom a wholesome Christian game? Yeah, you're fighting demons. What's more wholesome and Christian than that? There would definitely be a Doom DLC cash shop thing sooner or later. That'd be very funny. They already I think it was like Doom or id Software's actual account and stuff. But they did tweet out like it was the Starfield poster, but it was all like Doom themed and stuff like that, and it was very fun. I liked it. If that was like an actual poster you could buy, I would 100% buy it. Because that's super dope. What is the other element that's on this planet? Benzene. Ain't no benzene on this planet. There's just water. Stupid game. Can I be a guest on the Toshi Political Podcast? No. I don't need Europe having an actual reason to hate me. And you're definitely going to say something that's going to start some sort of just like specifically like Europe focused war or something.
Let's sit it down.
We landed in the space station. Where's the volume at? Exit chip. This is interesting because when I was here last time it was nighttime and now it's daytime. I guess it did turn daytime, but I don't know. This shit just kind of hits different when it's nighttime. Hey, yo, what up, Walter?
Smell that? Construction, incense, industrial chemicals of every kind. But they still can't get rid of the odor of chasm bass.
What's chasm bass?
A native species of fish. I often wonder what would have happened if they'd never found out about the psychotropic effects. I mean, on paper, a rich protein source is far more practical value than a recreational drug. But theory loses out once again to practice.
I tried to install a mod that removes the pronouns, but my PC is now showing a blue screen and my GPU fan doesn't work. Oh no. That's the fucking... If the fucking weird people on the internet are to be believed, that's the gay agenda. It's all been a fucking big massive psyop. The guy who invented who made the no pronouns mod is secretly like a gay FBI agent who did it to troll fucking stupid people who have like this, who for whatever reason have some sort of massive issue with fucking they them pronouns and shit like that. People are getting high off of fish.
Can't always something to do with chasm bass's natural oils, apparently. If you're curious, the name is Aurora.
Aurora? Let's go.
We need to stop by the Stroud Ekman offices. There are certain authorization procedures when large funds are being transferred.
Beth Craft for the subscription. Super epic. Super big, massive, huge Chad moment. Real gamer shit. Okay, well, I'm out to lunch with my boyfriend. Happy gaming. You too. Have fun. I think it was when I actually went into the water down here at some point, and I'm pretty sure I actually did kill a fish. I think it was a chasm bass. Kill him! Kill him dead! Aurora is Starfield's jet. It's also illegal everywhere but Neon. Yes, exactly. God, it was so cool when I came in here the first time. Like, this place is almost kind of, what I kind of expected